Welcome to this week's EHCtv feature interview. I'm Mark Robertson, and our guest today is Marine Corps Sergeant Dustin Worley. Sergeant, thanks for joining us today.
No, thanks for having me. I appreciate it.
We're going to talk about a variety of military-related issues, but first off, let's talk about your job a little bit. You're a Marine Corps recruiter. Take us through kind of a day in the life of your job.
Let's see, a day in the life. Well, I go to work in the morning, obviously just like everybody else does. It's a normal job for me. Just like it, going to utility and working on trailers all day. You know what I'm saying? As far as the intensity of my job goes, it goes a little bit farther out there. The reason being is I have to go to high schools and colleges such as Emory and Henry, and talk to young individuals about what the Marine Corps is, what the Marine Corps has to offer, what the theology and the background of the Marine Corps is, and the histories and traditions that we carry, and why we have those. So as far as a day in my life, it's very packed. I do a lot of talking and a lot of driving, and I enjoy it. It's fun.
What are those histories and traditions you're talking about? Pretend I'm a prospective Marine here, and you're talking to me, trying to sell the point to me.
Well, it depends. What are you interested in?
Sports.
Okay.
Staying in shape.
Okay. So obviously, the Marine Corps, it's military. So with that being said, we're very adamant on physical fitness. All right, we train hard every day. It's what we have PT. All right, that's what we call physical training. We just say PT for short. What we do is we'll go out, we'll run a couple miles, and then we'll come back, we'll lift some weights, we'll do some pull-ups. Marine Corps is big on CrossFit. You know anything about CrossFit?
Right. Yeah, I've heard of it.
Okay. Well, we're big on CrossFit and like P90X and Insanity workout, things like that. We kind of use those hand in hand with what the Marine Corps is based on. As far as staying physically fit, like you had asked. We're big on that because we never know what obstacles are going to come next. We don't know what country we're going to next. We don't know what is coming next in our lives because, it's life. You don't know if I'm going to walk outside and fall down the stairs. No one ever knows, So the biggest thing is we focus on physical fitness so that we stay in shape, but at the same time we're always ready for no matter what the next steps are. Now, going into traditions, all right, you're talking about sports. Okay, the Marine Corps, we have our own sports teams. All right, if you go and get stationed on any base in the country, we have our own basketball teams, our own baseball teams, softball teams, football teams. Some bases even have rugby teams. It just depends on the interest in that specific place you're at. But if you try out for it, then that would be your job in the Marine Corps. So technically, you're getting paid to play a sport. So in a roundabout way, it's kind of like you're a professional.
Yeah, so that's kind of how you're going to sell it to your typical perspective.
Well, that's not how I
key
sell
on
it.
their interests.
It's true. All right, it's a true thing. So
Right.
It's not really like a sales tactic. It's more of just laying out the facts and showing them what the Marine Corps is and what it has to offer. So.
Right. So I mean, obviously, being a Marine is a big thing to you. You wouldn't have been in for as long as you have been.
Right.
Other than that, talk about your journey to becoming a part of the Marine Corps.
As far as like where I started out in high school to now?
Absolutely, sure.
Okay. Well, I'm a local boy. I graduated Tennessee High back in 2004. From there, I went to Northeast State Community College, and I went there for 2 years, got my degree in drafting. Once I did that, I ended up, me and my wife, we were dating in high school, so we're high school sweethearts, but we got married, and then I left and went to the Marine Corps recruit training. So after I did that, there's a lot of other follow-on schools. I won't get into the details of them, but after that, my job in the Marine Corps was aviation electronics. Okay. So I get to work with jets and helicopters every day. So I did that at Cherry Point, North Carolina. I was there from 2007 to 2012, and then 2012 they looked at me and it's like, hey, Sergeant Worley, here's your opportunity. You want to go do something good, impact some other kids and impact their families. I was like, sure, why not? So. Lo and behold, here I am. I'm a recruiter. I'm out here trying to not only give young individuals, male or females, a lifestyle, but I'm also trying to look into giving them a career, giving them more opportunities than what they would have if they was to just stay in the local area and go straight to work somewhere around here.
Do you feel like that's your calling a little bit?
Calling, per se, no, not really. You're speaking about calling. I am a Christian. I did go to Liberty University and get my bachelor's in theology. So one day after I get out of the Marine Corps, whether I retire or just get out, I'm going to go back and my goal is to kind of either be a professor with something, as far as theology goes in that field. Okay. All right, either be a professor or go be some sort of minister, something of that nature.
So you don't want to be a career Marine?
Well, I'm going to stay and retire. Don't get me wrong. I mean, I love the Marine Corps. I'm going to do it. It was the best job I ever had. Trust me. But I'm not looking in for it until I'm like 70. You know, it's not. My body couldn't handle up to it.
So talking about your position in the Corps a little bit better, or a little bit more, excuse me. The recruiting thing is kind of new to you, even though you've been in for 7 years. You just started in 2012, and Olivia Bailey, our co-host, her brother was one of your first recruits. Can you talk to us about the process of recruiting him a little bit?
Well, I don't want to say he was an easy one, but Olivia went to go get her hair done one day, and he was killing some time. So he came down to the office. We sat down, we talked a little bit, and then before it was all said and done, you know, I went over everything with him, showed him what the Marine Corps was, what it was about. He never really knew a whole lot about it, so I was just kind of laying out the facts for him. You know, obviously I don't lie. All right, it's a common misconception that recruiters lie, but giving you my background that I just told you, obviously you know that I'm not in the lying field. So laying out the facts for him, showing him what the Marine Corps is, what it's about, what it has to offer. You know, that's what he decided. He's like, this is what I want. This is awesome. You know, this fits my lifestyle, and this shows me where I want to go in life. And, you know, even if he doesn't want to stay in for a career, and he just does 4 years and he gets out, you know, he could always look back and say the Marine Corps is like a stepping stone. You know, he used it to benefit his future life. But as far as Jordan goes, I mean, he was a good kid. He really was. He needed some physical training first starting out, just like most individuals do. You know, no one comes into it at the very beginning in the best physical shape ever. So he needed a little bit of help. After that, though, I worked with him some, and now he's in recruit training down Paris Island right now. So.
Right. So Jordan, obviously, kind of a success story for you here.
Yeah.
A couple hot button issues in the military right now, and I don't know how much you're going to be able to talk about, but Congress has just voted to allow women to serve in combat for the first time officially. Now, I'm sure with the nature of the war in Iraq, you've been able to see, you know, women are going to end up in combat one way or the other when you don't know who you're fighting. But what's your personal view on that policy?
As far as what? Go a little bit more in depth.
As far as allowing women on the front lines right there with men.
As far as personal views go, you know, as far as like the Sergeant Major of the Marine Corps, he said that he's all about it. Like he's all for it. So as far as my personal view goes, that's about to the same extent. You know, I'm all for it. They should have equal opportunity just like everyone else.
Do you have any concerns with it at all?
No. It's, you know, if that's what they want to do, it's what they want to do.
Okay. So talking, you don't have any combat experience, correct?
Well, in roundabout ways I do, but as far as being like on the ground shooting people, no, I don't.
Right. So I don't know. Do you think you can fairly assess what women can do? Obviously, there were probably women with you in basic and.
Well,
you know.
As far as boot camp goes, we don't train with women. They're completely kept in a strict area by themselves, and guys are by themselves because with the Marine Corps, it's very intense, and you mix the two together, and it doesn't really work out very well. So.
Okay, I guess what I'm trying to ask is what premise are you basing it on? Is it just you know, equality for humans, or
as far as like them going into combat?
Correct.
It's a hard one to answer. As far as premise goes, you know, it's more like if they feel like they can step up and they can do it, then they should have the opportunity to do it.
Okay.
That's about as far as I can go with it.
All right. Well, thanks for joining us, Sergeant Worley.
Oh,
we really
welcome.
appreciate it. An inspirational story on your account, and we thank you for joining us.
Yeah.
Now we're going to send it off to an out and about.